Hi, fourth grade social studies teachers. My name is Kelly, and I'm going to walk you through the Northeast unit for fourth grade. This unit takes 14 to 15 days to complete and covers the Northeast region, a review of inquiry skills, and the Industrial Revolution. As you can see, we have 2 to 3 days for the region packet, 11 lessons for the main, which takes 11 to 12 days, and that gets us to our breakdown of 14 to 15 days for this entire unit. This is the second social studies unit of the year. And as you can see, we have a few resources available. We have the unit question map, and in this you can see the main questions as well as an outline of what is covered under each. We have an inquiry slideshow, which takes us through practice on social scientists and various inquiry skills. And we have the Industrial Revolution slideshow, and this is the one that you'll use for the main lessons once you have completed the inquiry section. As you can see, each lesson is planned for 30 minutes. This allows for flexibility in discussions, questions, activities, etc., so that you can best meet the needs of your students. That being said, please make sure that you're using the resources and addressing the skills described in the unit, but feel free to change how the activities are completed by using student engagement strategies that work for your classroom and students, such as changing a whole group activity to a small group or partner setting, using a gallery walk to view images, etc. Up next in the unit plan, you can see all of the standards that are covered for social studies, as well as the objectives and learning targets. The theme for the year for social studies for fourth grade is how has social studies changed and stayed the same over time? Our compelling question for this unit is, did industrialization make life better for people in the Northeast? So as we move through it, we have 3 supporting questions. What was life like before industrialization? How did innovation increase industrialization? And how were people's lives changed by industrialization? Then you can see the formatives and the sources below linked to each one. Here's the sequence of lessons within the unit for the individual days. You begin with 2 or 3 days spent on the Northeast region. There's a packet available, or there's a TrueFlix book that you could access. And again, review the state locations, but don't necessarily quiz them. You can use online Cetera for some review in the Northeast region in a way that's fun for students to play. So day 1 begins with learning about the different types of social scientists. And if you need it, there are some videos available on the Teaching Social Studies playlist that reviews this particular strategy. This one, you use the inquiry slideshow to move through and review the different social scientists. As you can see, the slides are noted in the lesson plan for which one goes along with which section. After we learn about the different types of social scientists, we consider what types of questions they might ask. And this is the point where we talk about compelling and supporting questions. Then we move into the theme of the year, seeing how we connect the past and the present. And then we consider what types of sources we might need for our compelling question. So we look at primary and secondary sources. So within this first lesson, we are reviewing quite a few strategies that students would have experienced in their previous years. Day 2, we switch to the Industrial Revolution portion, and we start going over the theme. And we present a question to the students that's not one of our compelling or supporting, but just to get them thinking about what they do when they need or want a new shirt compared to how it was like in 1750. So students start learning about the Industrial Revolution and how we went from individuals making it to more of a factory situation. Day 3, we spend time on the unit compelling question, and we move on to supporting question 1 as well, and we start researching different aspects of the Northeast region. So it's climate, the environment, and how that impacted the types of jobs that were available. Then we think about transportation and consider how that would have impacted people's movement as well as the selling of goods. In day 4, we review that aspect of transportation, and we spend a little bit of time looking at maps of the Northeast and the Appalachian Mountains to consider how that would impact daily life. Day 5, we move on to supporting question 2, and we start looking at how industrialization came about and how some innovations such as the Lowell Mill and the steamboat pushed forward the Industrial Revolution. Day 6, we continue along with that theme, and we're considering more of the canals, Erie Canal in particular. The focus of this lesson is to see how this waterway made transportation easier, cheaper, and faster. Day 7, we review that concept of how a shirt got made in 1750, and we take a look at the pictures on slide 25. Then we spend more time considering the aspects of factories, especially focusing on the pros and cons, thinking about child labor, the dangerous conditions. We also consider the pros that people were able to get products more quickly and for less money, and also that our cities are growing, which is technically both a pro and a con when we consider the living conditions as well as the effects it has on the economy. Students take a look at supporting question 3 at the end of day 7 to start thinking about how people's lives were changed by industrialization. On day 8, students continue with learning about supporting question 3, and we take a look at a variety of resources. We have population charts and graphs, a couple of different pictures, with students to explore to consider how life changed with industrialization. Day 9 and 10, we're continuing with supporting question 3, and this time we're focusing mostly on child labor, focusing on why students had to work. And of course, we're going to spend time looking at this picture of Addie here, which is probably the most well-known one that goes along with the Industrial Revolution and child labor laws. Students would spend time exploring the different resources. There's also some video clips from Newsies you could watch a little bit of so that students can continue with conversations about what life was like for children working, particularly in New York City, but in the Northeast in general. This unit ends with a summative assessment over the compelling question, and so we're focusing on that. Did industrialization make life better for people in the Northeast? And students can argue yes or no, but they need to support their thoughts with evidence from their learning. You could do this in multiple different ways. You could have them write a response, you could have a project or a presentation, or you could have a group or a class discussion. The goal with this, though, is that you're keeping it within the time frame of the unit so that we're not losing time as we're trying to complete all our science and social studies units for the year. I hope this video was a helpful resource as you continue to go through and prepare to teach Unit 2, the Northeast. Please be sure to reach out to your PLC leader, instructional coach, or curriculum facilitator if you have any questions or would like any more information or support.